We're going to do some Peaky Blinders character tier rankings. So I think I'm in the minority, or I just don't hear a lot of people talk about him, so I don't know, I guess, the majority feelings. But like, I'm really high on Aberama. He's in my top 10 favorite characters. So I'm going to put him in A. I don't think he's S tier. Like, I think that's limited to maybe 3, possibly 4 people on this list. So A is where he lands. Ada's a tough one. Ada could land S tier, realistically. I mean, her importance to the story, her importance to Tommy, and what she does for the family. I'm going to put her in A for now. I'll hear the argument that she should be an S. I wouldn't be opposed to it. But we do have our first S tier character. It's Alfie Solomons. If anyone disagrees with that, we can talk in the comments. But I don't think there should be much of an argument there. Arthur's one I'm not as high on as it seems like a lot of people are. My best friend and I were arguing about this over text the other day. And Arthur just makes so many dumb decisions and he does so many dumb things. We also get Linda with Arthur. And frankly, again, I'm just not high on Arthur. I understand he is important. He's still one of the brothers, but I think he's going to land in B for now. I mean, Arthur Shelby Sr., we get one episode with him, right? Let's just move on. D tier. Easy. Billy Kimber. Very memorable. Was a great first season antagonist along with Inspector Campbell. I like Kimber. He's got one of the most quotable villains in all of this series. I think I'm going to go B tier though. I don't think he's deserving of A tier. Inspector Campbell, it does some just vile shit. He is one of the worst characters we see throughout the entire show. I hate him. You hate him. The actor did a phenomenal job at this. I'm trying to think of how to do this because importance to the story, how well they were played, memorable. He fits all of it. I'm thinking A tier for all of that alone. If I did this just off how much I like the character, it would be a much different list, but I'm trying to do importance to the story. So, let's just go B. Let's go. I don't feel right about that. We'll keep him B for now. Charlie. I love Charlie. He was an honorable mention in my top 10 list. But again, we just don't get a lot of Charlie. We get him a lot of scenes with him, but they aren't that important. We just know how important he is to the story and how important his yard is to keep everything going. I'm going to drop Charlie in B. I think that's a fair spot. And then Curly, someone we get even less time with. Curly's very likable when he's on screen. You can't really say anything negative about him. But because we just don't get too much with him or too many memorable things with him, I'm going to put him in C for now. Danny Whizbang is one for me I loved. He would be a lot higher if he made it past the first season or just if he had more scenes in season 1. But for now, I think he's a B tier. Love Danny Whizbang though. Esme is one that you can sympathize with really well. I don't think she was ever that bad of a spouse in the show like Linda was. Esme actually made a lot of fair points, especially in season 2 when she's talking to Tommy about the worries of going to London, what could go wrong there. I like Esme. She was kind of thrown into a shitty situation. She was raised in this life of violence and chaos with the Lee family, and then she married into the Shelbys, who's even worse. And then she had to watch her husband get murdered on her front step. I think she's good. B probably. Gina Gray. Anya Taylor-Joy bodies this role. She's fantastic in this show. I really do like her. Gina Gray sucks. She's one of the most annoying characters. She always thinks she's the smartest in the room. Does really help push the story forward. Helps push Tommy as a character. Obviously, makes Michael take a turn for the worse for the audience perspective. But again, I'm gonna go B tier. All right, let's get some big names out of here. Let's go Grace. This is a hot take. I'm putting Grace in B tier. Frankly, I like May better. I like May better than Grace. I think she would have been a better fit for Tommy. I think that Grace is slightly overhyped. I do still like her. She was good for Tom. I don't know if you can say she's good for Tommy. You know what? I'm just moving on. We're going to move on. Freddie Thorne. Freddie Thorne is another one that I absolutely love. I think he was a phenomenal character in season one. I wish we would have got more of him, but I think Freddy's an A tier character. I think he's so complex. I think there's a lot of history with him and Tommy that we could dive into that could be a lot of fun. The priest. I mean, you want to talk about absolutely just despicable characters. I mean, just off how much I hate him alone, he's going in C tier, which I hate because like I don't want to put him next to Curly, but like they're in there for different reasons. Johnny Dogs, I love. He could have been one of those that like didn't last that long. Like he was just a side character in there in the beginning for like kind of some Lee family interactions. He becomes a pretty important character, a caretaker for Tommy's family. I love Johnny Dogs. John, I love. Top three character for me. He was my second favorite of the brothers, Tommy obviously being number one. This might be another hot take. Luca Tringretta, I think, is the best villain or antagonist in the entire series. He is one of the few I was thinking in my head S tier character. He's fantastic. I don't want to praise Adrian Brody, but he is unbelievable in this role. May Carlton, like I said, I like her better than Grace. I think she was fantastic in season 2. I think she's very complex. I enjoyed her and Tommy on screen together. She's going A tier. All right. So I'm thinking it more through now. I think there's at least definitely 4 that are guaranteed S tier, and Paul, one of them. There's not much more you can say there. And Paul deserves to be S tier. She's a phenomenal character. Helen McCroy does phenomenal things with this role. I wish we could have seen what they originally had planned for her story. It's heartbreaking what had happened, but she's an S tier character. I won't hear anything else. Tatiana's one that I really like. Season 3, I think, is one of the better seasons. I mean, there's not a bad season, but Tatiana really pushes the envelope. She pushes Tommy's limits a lot, and she is willing to kind of push everything. Some of the shit she says to Tommy is so outlandish. I like her a lot, even though she is pretty despicable, but I think she's an A tier character. We're back on to our next D tier character with Linda. Fuck Linda. Michael Gray. Kind of an interesting storyline that they gave him, where he came in as like this innocent kid that didn't know anything with the family that he was raised in. He wanted to get into all this shit, and then he just wanted to take over because of Linda and like everything else that had happened, and he blamed Tommy for all this other stuff that didn't matter. I'm not the biggest Michael fan. That's not true. I do like Michael. I think the character, or the actor did really well with the character. Oh my god, I don't know where to put him. Probably B tier. I'll probably go B tier. Lizzie. Lizzie is fantastic. Again, another one of those that was introduced really early on. Could have been a throwaway character that we just remembered for that one episode, kind of like Johnny Dogs, but they developed her into like very important to the business. Obviously, the father to Ruby, or I'm sorry, the mother to Ruby, became very important. I'm putting Lizzie in A. I'll put Lizzie B tier. Sir Oswald Mosley, another one, pretty despicable guy. Fantastic, huge impact on the story, very memorable. I think he's an A tier character. If you disagree, let me know. I don't really see where else he would go. I think A tier makes sense for him. Jimmy McCavern, leader of the Billy Boys, obviously just an absolute menace on screen. But I will be honest, it's been a while since I've actually watched seasons probably 4 through 6. Probably since season 6 came out, because I did an entire rewatch before that season dropped, and I don't think I've watched them since. And I'm gonna be really honest, I don't remember a whole lot of Jimmy on screen, which might be just more saying something about my memory, but a lot of these other characters I can remember exact scenes they're in, even quotes. Jimmy, I remember that scene where they take out Aberamagold's son. Just not a lot more from Jimmy besides the Billy Boys song, and I mean, for that I'm gonna put him in B tier as well. Maybe I'm doing a rewatch right now, maybe he'll go up to A tier if I get there. We see what happens. Reuben Oliver, kind of an interesting guy. I liked him, seemed good for Polly. Maybe I'm not remembering as much as I should, but he always just kind of seemed safe. Like, I don't know, I liked him, but he's not too fantastic. He's not too boring, not too bad. B tier, feels safe for him. Sabini is an absolute menace. I mean, really good character, really good follow-up to Billy Kimber. A lot more menacing. That first episode of season 2 really just shows the power that he holds behind him. For that alone, probably an A tier villain, honestly. I think he would probably be my second favorite of all the antagonists in this show. Finn is like one of the Shelbys that like I don't care about him that much. When like there's certain characters in this show, like everyone who's in S tier right now, when they're on screen, I am dialed in. I am listening to every line of dialogue, every like beat between words. Finn is just like one of those like when he's on screen, he has some good scenes, but I don't care that much. I'm thinking Finn C tier. I know that might piss some people off, but that's just where I feel like he goes. Jeremiah is one of those characters in season 1 that I really enjoy. I love his line where he's pretty much, Tommy asks him if he can ask God for forgiveness to pick up a weapon when he's gonna fight Billy Kimber, and he just says God doesn't watch over small Heath. I think he has some good impact. He marries Grace and Tommy, obviously very impactful there. I like him. B tier character. Sergeant Moss is an interesting one. Obviously season 1 tries to be like a good cop amongst a bunch of dirty cops and eventually does get bought out by the Peaky Blinders. I don't have too much to say about him. Probably a C tier character for me. And finally, everyone knew this was coming. Tommy Shelby, S tier character. Not a lot else to say there. One of the greatest characters ever written, one of the greatest characters in television history. Let me know in the comments where you disagree though.